Good day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan Battle video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the second stage of the Goku'S story, Red Zone, and this one has you take on the planet Namek Saga. Now, planet Namek Saga is a very interesting one. So this one has multiple phases. It has in total 5 phases, which is quite a bit, but each one's not necessarily super duper tanky. When I say strong, they're quite strong offensively, but they're not necessarily super duper tanky. So basically, the most health the phase has is the final one with 130k or 130 million, and the first couple phases are actually quite low on health: 70 million, 90 million, 80 million, 110. So yeah, each phase can go by relatively quickly. It does give you a little bit of time to build up, not as much as some other events do. Goku'S starts out pretty base. You can seal him, stun him, attack lower, defense low, and he has a 1.1 million super. Nothing too crazy, nothing too bad. Jason Berta, the next phase, a little bit tougher. They can evade, 5% chance. You can attack lower them though and defense lower them, but they hit 1.5 mil, which is pretty tough to handle. Then you come to Captain Ginyu. Yeah, he nullifies super attack, sealing effects, immunity to being stunned, attack reduction, defense reduction. He also creates physical key spheres, which is pretty weird. And he, hits for 1.5 as well. Very similar to Jason Berta in difficulty. And then obviously we come to the freezers. So you have Final Form Freezer, the AGL one. Immune to stunning, sealing, etc, etc. He also locks your character switching, and this is actually the hardest phase for me comparative to the other ones. So this one was actually the phase where, well, talk about the team strategy, but this one I felt is the one where players might struggle a little bit because of the locking characters in place, where he can lock a character that you don't want to take a super and they will, and they'll be knocked out. And you have Frieza full power, who obviously doesn't lock characters, but he does perform a guaranteed critical hit when attacking, which is a lot on a 2.1 million super, and he deals 10% of your max HP as damage every single turn, which can slowly whittle you down. So obviously talking about Frieza Final Form and Frieza Full Power, so the Ginyu Force phases are not too bad. Recoome hits like 400k in normals. The next two ones are about 550k. Frieza Final Form is 650k, and then the Final Frieza is 750. Obviously, Final Frieza is really rough, but like you said, they don't have a lot of health. So by the time you get to Final Frieza, although yes, he's tough, he is also able to kind of be destroyed in like a couple turns because your units are built up, so it's not too bad. In terms of the Ginyu Force, I wouldn't really necessarily have a strategy here. I try to let my units build up in the situations that are appropriate for them. Where I can, I'm keeping my units on rotation, that I know I need to get additional super attacks or build out their passives or anything like that. So you'll see with my team, Ultimate Gohan, Super Gogeta, they spend a lot of time on rotation in these Ginyu Force phases. I also went with a physical heavy team because I didn't want to be in the int phase against Frieza Full Power very long. One thing is that physical units only have a big time struggle against Captain Ginyu, which is quite early on. So you should be able to run a more heavy physical lineup and get away with it. In terms of obviously the rest of the team, I went with a superhero build team. So I have Double Beast Gohans, I have Super Gogeta, I have Ultimate Gohan, I have the Int Gamma 1, Gamma 2 LR, and I also have the Krillin and Android 18 support unit, who I love running, just because they're great. I mean, they provide a 2-turn buff. There's no reason not to like them. So yeah, and then also I'm running the Super Saiyan Blue Evolve Vegeta because he's really good and he fits into the team, and it was just to provide another tanky presence. So obviously the big caveat is going to be the Frieza Final Form and the Frieza Full Power. The thing is, with the AGL Frieza phase, I saved a taunt from Beast Gohan. I kept one on each, and I split them on rotation. Largely because, in case the wrong unit got locked in place, I would use a taunt during the Frieza phase. If the right units got locked in place, in the right position and everything, and it wasn't going to cause me issues, I was going to save both taunts, obviously, for the final one against Frieza full power. That's very obvious. But if, got locked in the wrong place, I 100%, would have used both taunts in the AGL Frieza final form phase. Because like I said, the AGL Frieza phase is the worst one. Because you have no agency, you lose that ability to move your characters, you lose that ability of control. So clearly the, AGL phase is not the best one. I don't like the AGL phase. So I saved the taunts for there because I think it's definitely the better option. Of course, the in phase is where you can take some big damage. But by just combining an item, I know, cardinal sin, but by just combining an item and using Beast Gohan's taunt, you can output so much damage and really keep things ticking down. Like I said, we went, physical heavy. I also brought Super Gogeta for his taunt. Evasion is reactivated against, full power Frieza, so evasion is going to be very effective here. And just in general, I brought a situation where I was rather going to have more damage in a priority manner against the Frieza than not. And ultimately, that's kind of what I had to do. Prioritize the damage, make sure that I'm coming out with more damage, more of a damage focus centric against Frieza full power. Try to beat him quickly. Don't try to hang in there and prevent damage the whole time and focus on like whittling him down or staying safe. Those situations aren't gonna net a positive, and they're gonna put me in a pressure situation. So instead, I was like, you know what? Let's just focus on taking him out as quickly as possible. And at that phase, then we won't have any real mistakes. I think that's more than fine. So yeah, that was really about it. Use the ultimate skills, use the active skills, use the beast's taunts, used everything that we need to use, and came out on top against Frieza. Really, the ultimate Gohan helped. Obviously, SSBE Vegeta. Every unit did their part properly. And you can probably item this. Really, you only need AGL Frieza to not lock your units in the wrong place to come out more than fine. So I just don't really know what the big issue is. I think for the most part you should be fine. But hey, that's it for me. Obviously, to each their own. It's all up to you. Can you do it? Can you not do it? But for me, I found it to be not too bad as long as you prioritize getting that damage off against Frieza, preventing those critical hits coming in on you, and having a bad time that way. I think ultimately, if you can do that, you should be fine. Because once you get past that AGL phase, although the Int Frieza is scary, he's not impossible to handle, provided you have the right kind of units. And I think Super Gogeta, if I was going to no item this, I probably would run something along the lines of double Super Gogeta, because I think that double taunt against the power of the Int Frieza, that double Gogeta taunt is going to be very, very good, and very strong, because evasion will prevent the damage from the crits, and that gives you a really, really good comfortability with running like all your other units. So that's probably what I would put everything down as, but to each their own, it's all up to you. But for me, that is basically it. So obviously, if you have any questions about team building or anything like that, or you want to know what team did I run, what units did I run, you can you can see them, but if you want more information, you're welcome to ask. I'll always try to reply in the comments. And that is basically it for me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know how you took on the stage, and I will see you guys in the next one. So until then, take care, stay safe, and thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.